Here we go. Good morning, everyone. Shavua Tov. We are Daf Samech Vav Amud Aleph, 66a at the top, the Mishnah. Here we go. Okay. Potchim beyamim tovim v'shabbatot. We could open up a person's neder, reminding him about Yom Tov and Shabbat. So I'll enter the I'll say the run outside. That basically, let's say a guy says, I don't want to have wine for the next 30 days. And we tell him, hey, you didn't realize that Shabbat and Yom Tov is in those 30 days, or for the next week. Hey, Shabbat, you have Yom Tov. So, I didn't realize that. I didn't want to not have wine on Shabbat or not want to have wine on Yom Tov. So that works to undo his neder. If he's going to be betzar, we have to remind him about that. It works to open his neder. Mishnah continues. Barishona hayu omrim otam hayamim mutarim v'shar kol hayamim asurim. At the beginning, originally they thought that when someone does this and you remind them, let's say about Shabbat and Yom Tov, only the Shabbat and Yom Tov is allowed to now drink wine, but the other days are not. The guy makes the thing, 30 days I'm not having wine, right? So Shabbat and Yom Tov, oh, I didn't realize Shabbat and Yom Tov. So at first they said, no, okay, Shabbat and Yom Tov you can drink wine, the other days you can't. That's based on your neder. Ad Shabbat Rabbi Akiva v'limed. No, until Rabbi Akiva came and he taught the proper way. She'neder shehutar michlalo hutar kulo. If a neder is partially undone, it's totally undone. If it's partially undone, it's totally undone. And the Ran says, like the pasuk says, Kechol hayotze mipiv yaseh. The pasuk when it comes to Nedarim is everything that comes out of his mouth, he needs to do. And this is everything that comes out of his mouth. Here he said, 30 days I don't want to have. Oh, we opened up for Shabbat and Yom Tov, then it's not everything that came out of his mouth. Everything that came out of his mouth should have been the full 30 days. We now undid part of it, then the whole thing falls apart. Kate said. Now the Mishnah is going to bring a few examples of this. Kate said, Amar kunam she'eni nehene lekulchem. If a guy says, I don't want to benefit from any of you, the whole Magen David I don't want to benefit from. And then, hutar echad mehem, hutru kulam. And let's say one of them, he says, what, me? You don't want to benefit from me? Oh, no, you, I didn't mean you, right? So now, one gets undone. He didn't mean him. He didn't realize him. Then the whole thing gets undone. Because he put everyone together in the same pot. He says, I don't want to benefit from any of you guys.
There's no pet.
And then,
you just changing your mind.
Right, it seems like there's no petach?
No, it's just like
you don't need to. I mean, it has to be brought to his attention.
I think it talks about in that terms. His father. He found out.
He found that his father's one of them.
Oh.
Right. He found that his brother's one of them. So the whole thing. Yeah, that's the right. That you might not even need a petach. It's just you realize from the beginning. Hutar. I mean, the truth is, the beginning is you do need a petach. We potchim lo beyamim tovim. So once a little bit is open, and the rest is open. I think at this point it's he needs a petach. You need to open it from. You can't just open on your own. So I didn't mean you.
Yeah,
maybe
probably the father, or the rabbi, or somebody that he cannot do that.
I mean, that's a good point. Do you need the petach to be done by someone, or can you just say, oh, I didn't realize him and that's it? Right now it seems like petach. Okay, let's see if we see otherwise. I think one of the runs mentioned something about this, but I'm not seeing it right now.
That's number 4. So in that case, one vowed regarding a group of people and then discovered that his father or brother was a member of the group.
Does it say that the petach, he needs a petach, and once, I think it's the whole thing over here, that once it's opened by, and on one of the hutar echad, hutar kulam, so like it became mutar, like through a petach. Okay. The next is an interesting case, back to the Mishnah, she'eni nehene leze velazeh, hutar rishon, hutar kulam. So here the case is, and the Ran says that lazeh velazeh is like, I'm not benefiting from this one and this one and this one and this one. So, but it seems like I'm not benefiting. I don't want this guy to benefit me because that guy benefit me. I don't want that guy to benefit me because that guy benefit me. And you keep on going. Let's say person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So person 1, I don't want you to benefit from me. And person 2, I don't want you to benefit from me because person 1's not benefiting from me. And person 3, I don't want you to benefit from me because person 2's not benefiting. So it's like a chain. So now, if you undo number 1, you know, one, I'm your business partner, remember? I did that favor for you, remember? Like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. So once you undo number 1, the whole chain falls apart because 2 is based on 1, 3 is based on 2, and 2 is based on 1. So once I undo number 1, I undo everything. But hutar acharon, ha'acharon hutar v'kulan asurin. But if you undo the last person, only the last person is allowed, and not everyone else prior. Let's say person number 5 says, person number 5, you're asur to me also. You know why? Because 4 is asur to me, and you're his friend. And he said, 5 is like, what do you mean? Don't you remember I lent you that money that day, whatever? Oh, you're right. You know, forget it. You know, you're okay. He's the last one on the chain, so so he's allowed, and everyone else is not. Okay. Next case. Let's skip the brackets. She'ani nehene laze korban ulaze korban. So let's say a guy says, to you, I don't want to benefit, and it's I don't want you to benefit from me, and it's like a korban. To you, I don't want you to benefit from me, and it's like a korban. That, you need a petach for each one. It's like, he said it one after the other, but it's 2 separate things. You're like a korban, you're like a korban, you're like a korban. The earlier case was, you because of you. Lazeh, ulazeh, ulazeh, ulazeh. You because of you, because of you, because of you. Here, it's each one on their own, therefore each one needs their own petach. Next. Kunam yain shani to'em. The guy says, I don't want to benefit from wine. Shayain ralei me'ayin. Because wine is bad for the intestines. Amru lo, they told him. V'alo miyushan yafil me'ayin. They told him, hey, what do you mean? Old wine is good for the intestines. Hutar b'miyushan v'lo b'miyushan bilvad hutar ela b'chol hayayin. Once now the old wine gets undone, all wine is undone. He's allowed to have all wine. Kunam batzal shani toem. Shabatzal rala live. I said, I don't want to have any more onion. Onion is bad for the heart. Amrulo halo hakofri yafila live. But the kofri type of batzal is good for the heart. Hutar v'kofri v'lo v'kofri b'dvad hutar ela b'chol ha'betzalim. So once it becomes undone for the kofri, it becomes undone for all betzalim. There's actually a story like this, and Rabbi Meir allowed all of the onions. The guy said, I don't want to benefit from any onion, bad for the heart. What do you mean? The kufri one's good for the heart. Oh yeah, that's right. So does now everything allowed? Says Rabbi Meir, yes, and there's actually a story, and he undid for all of them. Okay. Let's do the Gemara. Hutar ha'acharon mutar, v'kulan asurin. In that case of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where it's 2 because of 1, 3 because of 2, etc., that the last one is allowed, then if the last one is hutar, then only the last one's allowed, and everyone else is still asur. Mantana, who's the author of our Mishnah? Amar Rav Rabbi Shimoni. It's Rabbi Shimon. The Amar ad shiomar shavua lekol echad ve'echad. Until you say a shavua for each and every one, meaning they're all attached one to another, until you say a shavua on this one, shavua on this one, shavua on this one. We'll take a look at the rounds. Let's keep on going till the Mishnah, then we'll look at the rounds. So next, kunam yain she'ani toim. A guy says, I don't want to have wine. It's an interesting point. The Mishnah point. The Gemara is going to point out. The guy says, I don't want to have wine because it is bad. And I said, what do you mean? The old one's good. So I'll speak it out, then I'll read it inside. The Gemara is pointing out, you don't even need to say that this old wine's good. It's enough to say this old one is not bad. Because there's bad, good, and parv, like in the middle, not bad, not good. So the guy says, I'm not having wine because it's bad. The Mishnah says, what do you mean? This one's good. Says the Gemara, you don't even need to say that. You could say, this one's not bad. So why do you have to say that it's good? So says the Gemara, why don't you just say that it's not bad? Amar Rabbi Abba, says Rabbi Abba, ve'od yafektani. Rabbi Abba says, well, the Mishnah always likes to teach you things, and it wants to teach you the actual truth, that it's actually good for you. So that's like the actual truth over here. Yes, we could have said it's not bad, but it's actually indeed good for you. Same thing with the batzal. Kunam batzal shani tolam sham batzal chule. V'tepukule de en ra. Just say it's not bad. I'm going to be above ve'od yafek tani. It wants to teach you something else that it's actually good for you. Okay, let's actually start up at the top of the runs, and we'll zoom down, and then we'll do the next mishnah. Look right at the top. Run. Matnitin. Potchim v'yamim tovim. We open up for Yamim Tovim. Shomrim lo, ilo hayita yodea she'asur litztar b'Shabbat. Hayita noder. If you would have known that it's asur to have tsar on Shabbat, it seems like the guy knew that he's going to not have one on Shabbat. But it's going to be pain. You're not supposed to pain yourself on Shabbat. What do you made such a neder? Iyamar lav. If the guy says no, I would not have made such a neder. Matirino to we open up the neder for him. Shekol neder she'utar michlalo utar kulo. Once a neder is opened up a little bit, it's opened up completely. Yafim la b'Yerushalmi. We learn from the Yerushalmi. Yichtiv kechol yotzei mipiv yaseh. Everything that comes out of your mouth, we do. That you have to do. The mashma davka b'shekulo kayam. In mashma davka, when everything is intact, everything that you said is intact. Now part of it's gone, but the whole thing falls apart. Let's skip with that run. Then go to the next one. She'eni nehene lezeh v'lezeh. Ukila hatam. The case is over there. Kegon shetelaan ze bazeh. He was told he was he relied one on the other. Like two because of one, three because of two. Shumachi utar rishon utru kulan. Shekulan hayu tiluim b'rishon. That's why once you undo number one, all of them are undone because they were all eventually tied up to number one. Utar acharon. Next, acharon utar kulan usurin sharishonim enam tulimbo. Because number 1, 2, 3, and 4 in our example are not connected to number 5. Like they're not. It's not because of him. 5, you're asur because of number 4. Once I say, 5, you're allowed now, then the other 4 still remain intact. That they're asur.
So if you break 3, for example, only 3,
then 3, 4, and 5,
6 are breaking as well.
Yeah.
As well.
Yes.
And
Yeah. From then
1
onwards
and 2 are fine.
are still asur.
Still asur.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yes. Excellent point. She'ani nehene lezeh. Korban lezeh korban. Tzrichim petach lekol echad. The kol chad ve'echad havi neder b'apei nafshe, because each one is its own neder. Next run. Man tana. Who's our tana? The midiktani lezeh korban tzrichim petach lekol echad ve'echad. That we said, this is a korban. This is a korban. You need an opening for each one. Alma de leolam lo havi prata ela ki midkar korban hakol echad ve'echad. Halav hachi lo shna amar lezeh u'lezeh. Bevav or leze below vav klal havi montana. So basically, the Ran's pointing out that it doesn't make a difference if you say leze uleze or leze without the vav. It's the same thing. The difference here is that you said leze korban. You're like a korban to me. You're like a korban to me. That you made each one its own neder. That's each one's alone. But if I say leze or leze uleze, it's the same thing. They're all attached. Amar Rava Rabbi Shimoni. Then we perk Shavua Pikadon. Gabe hayu hey tovim oto ve'amar lo lach ve'lo lach de la'olam eno chayav al kol echad ve'echad at she'omar shavua al kol echad ve'echad halavachi ben ve'vav ben ve'lo vav klal. Okay, same thing. We said we want to say who's the Tana from Rabbi Shimon that says until you say shavua al kol echad ve'echad, but like shavua on you, then it's separate shavuas. But if you don't, you say lazeh or lazeh ulazeh, then they're all attached, and that's in line with Rabbi Shimon over there. Uli'inen halacha, kaima like Rabbi Shimon, the satam latana hacha kavateh. The halacha is like Rabbi Shimon, as over here, there's no one argues that Rava says it's Rabbi Shimon, so and therefore the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon. Just to jump to the end of that run, chen paskur ben Chanana the Ramban, ben Chanel Ramban, and the run are posek that this is like the Mishnah's Rabbi Shimon, and where we go like him. Okay, or the next also, Kunam yain ichani toim shayain rad me'ayim utar b'yushan belo petach klal. So here the Ran says you don't need a petach. In the case of the guy tells him, what do you mean you made a kunam on yain? The yain, the old wine is good. He says you don't even need a petach. Chenami utar b'kufri belo petach. Seems like the guy didn't have that in mind at all. He didn't realize. So in a case where you didn't realize at all, it wasn't on your radar when you made the neder, maybe it's like a neder ta'ut, you didn't have it in mind at all, And now, say, what do you mean, the old wine? Or the kufri batzal. So, oh, yeah. And then, therefore, your neder was not a good neder, and the whole thing's undone. Says the Gemara, typically the inra, say that it's not bad. Why did it have to say that the miyushan is good for the me'ayim? Afilu lo yeh yafeh, kevan de lo have ra, hutar miyushan, shehu talui nidro shayan ra me'ayim. Says the od yafeh ktani. Chada de enra, ubachi shara, and tzarech lomach shu yafeh. We didn't have to say, but we added that it's also good.
So what happened to the neder if you say it and based it on something that is not true? Because you said it's bad, but it's not bad.
So it's undone. It seems like it's undone without a petach.
Automatically, or
Yeah.
someone needs to okay.
I mean, he's got to be brought to his attention, but it seems like even without a petach, that's what the Ran's saying over here. Let's go to the Mishnah. Yeah.
If let's say if it's based on something that's not true, but we knew that it wasn't true.
What do you mean?
For example, let's say I knew that wine is not bad for my health, but I regardless made the neder.
And you say, I'm not drinking because it's bad, but you're like lying? I don't get the question.
Yeah.
So you say...
Yeah, that's the question. Like I know it, but I just said, nah, it's bad. Maybe it's bad for the heart. Maybe I meant it's bad because it changes your heart.
Okay, so then once a guy would tell you, what do you mean the miyushan is good? But then you would say back, well, I meant all wines. I just don't want wine. Okay, that's what you meant, then it's asur still.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But like if once the guy says, hey, the miyushan is good, he's like, well, really, it's good for you? I didn't realize that. Then okay, then that's our case. Your case is a different case, and once you admit, oh no, I just don't want wine. I didn't mean it's bad because it's bad. I just didn't want wine. Then maybe there'll be no opening there.
Because your intention was not wine. That's what you.
Oh yeah, you just don't want wine. But the way you said it was wine's bad for me, but you didn't. You just or wine's bad for you, but he meant for me. I don't like it or whatever it is.
It's just you can't stop. You drink too much, so you want to
So you
stop.
make that. So that would be, then you would just explain and say, hey, that's not, no, I didn't mean it's bad, like, but then does your neder work in that case, because it's not, the wording is not correct. Maybe you have to make a re-neder in that case. Okay, let's see the Mishnah. פותחים לאדם בכבוד עצמו ובכבוד בניו. We open neder for people for their own honor and for the honor of their children. Omrim lo. So here, let's say the case is that this man he did a neder against his wife, which is going to be like a divorce. Like I neder, I'm giving you a divorce, right? So now we could tell him, Omrim lo. If you would have known, Shelamachar omrim alecha kach hi vesto shel ploni megarish nashav. If you would know that tomorrow people are going to talk about you. And then they say, this guy, it's his time. He divorces his wife. This guy maybe it's the second time around. Or this guy, look at him, and people are talking about you. V'benotecha, you omrim, benot gerushot hen. Or about your daughters, they're going to say, she's the daughter of the divorced lady, this, right? Mara atan iman shel elu lidgaresh. Or maybe let's say this is a case where it's like a blame on the wife. It's like, oh, what did their mother, or what did he see in the mother to divorce her? Or what did the mother see to divorce him? So it seems like they're going to be talking about him. So you tell them, you want to go through this neder and divorce your wife, just like that. They're going to be talking about you. You understand what's going on, the ramifications? The guy said, oh my gosh, if I would have realized, I didn't realize that the gossipers, how far this is going to go and this, then I wouldn't have done it, and mutar, then it would be mutar. I remember one time speaking to a guy who was divorced, and he said that like he was happy with his decision, whatever, the divorce, but he didn't realize, like maybe more in the religious circles, that like being a divorced guy is like it's like a thing. Like like now he doesn't go back to being a single guy. He's a divorced guy, and it's like he wasn't ready for that. He said that's what he said. Okay. So next, second line down. Kunam shani, and this we saw already in the earlier Gemara. Kunam shani noset plonit keura v'areina. Let's say you guys says I don't want to marry this girl. She's ugly. Like you're pressuring me to marry this girl. She's ugly. I don't want to marry her. Shechora, and he makes a neder. I'm not marrying her because she's ugly. Shechora v'arei levara, and behold, she's beautiful. Let's say. Or a guy says, no, I don't want to marry her. She's black. V'arei levara, she's white. Ketzara harei aruka. No, she's short. I don't want to marry her. She's short. The neder. I'm not marrying her. She's short. What do you mean? She's tall. Mutarba. You're allowed. They find out she's indeed tall. Let's say you're allowed to marry her. Lo mipnei shekiura v'na'asa na'a. Not because she was ugly and then became beautiful, like did something to become beautiful. Shechora v'na'asa levana, or did something to become white. K'tzara v'na'asa ruka, or did something and then she became taller. Ela sha'neder ta'ut. Rather, the case is that the neder was a ta'ut. It was indeed that she was actually beautiful, and you just maybe didn't see her in a good. But now you, oh my gosh, she was actually beautiful. So it's a neder ta'ut. Umaaseh. There was a story. Be'echad shenadar mi bat achoto. There was a person that made a neder about the daughter of his sister, his niece. They wanted him to marry his niece. Oh, that.
Aniya.
Eh?
Yeah.
They want. Huh?
Oh, it says Aniya. Oh, the snowstorm.
Huh?
Yeah.
Snowstorm.
All day,
Oh,
all
wow.
day, all day.
Oh, really? White out over there all of a sudden now.
It says Mibat
We need you guys at shul.
Yeah.
Okay. So, huh?
It says Mibat Achoto Haniya. No?
Hana'a. Hana'a is hana'a over here.
Oh, okay.
So he says, I make a neder on my niece that I don't want to have any, I don't want her to benefit from me. No hana'a.
Oh, Hanaya here means
Hana'a means benefit. Right. Ve'yichnisuha, and what happened was she was like because of ugly, right? Ve'yichnisuha lebet Rabbi Ishmael ve'yaipuha. They brought her to the house of Rabbi Ishmael, maybe he had daughters, whatever it was, and they made her beautiful. They put on nice makeup and this and that. Amar lo Rabbi Ishmael was a good shadchan. He says, here, son, come over here. Bini, my son, Mizuna Darta, did you make a neder on this girl? Amar lo laugh. No, I didn't make a neder. This girl, she's a beautiful girl. V'itira. And they allowed undid the neder. Rabbi Ishmael be'ota she'ah bachar. Rabbi Ishmael at that time he cried. Rabbi Ishmael allowed her. Be'ota she'ah bachar Rabbi Ishmael. At that moment, Rabbi Ishmael cried. Ve'amar benot Yisrael noten. The Jewish girls are beautiful. Ela she'aniyut min avaltan. Unfortunately, poverty makes them ugly. Unbelievable. Uchshemet Rabbi Ishmael, when Rabbi Ishmael died, hayu benot Yisrael nosot kina. The Jewish nation, the Jewish girls, they made a kina, a lamentation, a sad song, ve'omrot, and they would say, benot Yisrael al Rabbi Ishmael bechina. The daughters of it, they sang and they would say, the daughters of Israel on Rabbi Ishmael are crying. Chen omer b'Shaul, like it was said about Shaul, benot Yisrael al Shaul bechina. Meaning they got this wording from a pasuk where the girls, the daughters of Israel, cried about Shaul. I don't know why they cried about Shaul, but maybe it says. No, it seems that when Shaul died, they cried about him, and we checked the reason there. But similarly,
There's an explanation here.
what?
In the Sephira, there is an explanation. Daughters of Israel, weep over Shaul, who clothed you in scarlet with other delights, who put ornaments of gold upon your apparel.
So I guess
Apparently,
he took care of the Jewish girls.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, that's the full pasuk here in Shmuel. I see. Chazak. So similarly, like they cried for Shaul, they cried for Rabbi Ishmael. Says the Gemara question. Maaseh listor. Hold on a second. This is a story that you're bringing a story as a contradiction. What's the contradiction over here? The Mishnah said that if the guy says, I don't want to marry this girl because she's ugly, and if you make her beautiful now, that is not going to be, the nether is going to stay intact, because you can't change. You're like, that's like a nolad. It's like a nolad. So the case is, the Mishnah says, the case is that he was mistaken. She's actually beautiful. So here, though, and then it brings a story. Story is, he wasn't mistaken. She was ugly. He made her beautiful by putting on makeup, whatever he did. So she was indeed ugly. He saw her before. He made his neder. She was indeed ugly. And Rabbi Shmuel even cried. The girls are not ugly. What makes them ugly is poverty. But we can make them beautiful. They're really beautiful. But so he's saying, so the Gemara is asking a question. The Mishnah says that if you make a neder, I don't want to marry her because she's ugly. And then she changes to become beautiful, your neder still stays intact. That's like a nolad. That's like something new that happened over here. If it was a ta'ut, if let's say she was indeed beautiful, the way you, like now you saw her in regular, like, oh my gosh, she is actually beautiful. But so then, okay, it means you made a neder ta'ut. But if now you did something to change her appearance, it's a nolad, and the neder should be intact. It's a maaser, at least store. Says the Gemara, Chasure mechser achiktani. No, the Mishnah was missing a piece, and this is what it meant to say. Rabbi Shmuel Omer. Rabbi Shmuel is saying, meaning Rabbi Shmuel is arguing on the first explanation of the Mishnah and saying, Afilu keura v'nasid na'a, shechora v'naset levana, ksera v'naset aruka. Even if she became beautiful, he basically is saying that nolad is okay. Even if she became beautiful, she became taller, she became white, it would work. And he brings a story, and he brings a story to say, even if at the time of the neder, so you said ugly, we changed things now, and now it's nolad to something that would undo your neder before, even nolad is going to be okay. Okay, explained it out. Yeah, look at the last line of the run. Afilu keura v'nasid na'ad desriyale depotchin benolad. Rabbi Yishmael is of the opinion we open with nolad. Then he did a story like it. Afilu achi lo kan melan kebata. We do not pasken, we do not rule like Rabbi Yishmael. Ela kerabanan. Delo sharu ela benimtzet na'a. We only allow when we actually find out that she is indeed beautiful and not with any changes. She was indeed beautiful and you were just mistaken. It's an important point, but the way it's an argument here of Rabbi Shmuel's arguing on the Rabbanan. Okay, we will end over here and continue Monday night the Ezrat Hashem, and we're going to be finishing the Perek Monday night, tomorrow night Ezrat Hashem. Hazaku Baruch. It might be at my house again this year. We'll figure it out. Okay, and those that are online, it's going to be online.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, all the best. Shavua Tov and safe travels, Ezra.
Thank you.
Okay, bye guys.
Tomorrow,
Shavua Tov.
so.
Bye.
Zev, he's
Thank you, Zev.
he's coming back Monday or Tuesday?